So today, I thought I would make a video about showing off some of my favorite bushcrafting knives. Um, this has really been perfected and tuned over a long time of looking for the right knife. I've spent so much money and time trying to find which knife is my favorite, and I finally have found a couple that I want to share with you that are my favorites. So when I mean a bushcrafting knife, I mean more of like a camping knife. It's not really like a knife by itself. I always take a knife and a hatchet or an axe, but the knife is the hatchet or axe's companion. So it's doing a little bit of batoning, feather sticking, food prep, but I also want a knife that I can do more than just bushcrafting things with. I want a knife that I can It isn't so dependent on just woodworking. You know, I want something that I can use as a survival tool or something that I can use in combat. I don't know, that's far-fetched, but just something that it's a knife that you can do anything with, you know. So you could everyday carry even if you wanted. But let's get into it. I have 3 knives on the table here, and yeah, I'm really excited. So I guess we'll start off smallest to biggest. So let's get these out of the way here. And we'll first start off with this. This is the Bark River Ultralight Bushcrafter. This thing is a charming little thing for sure. This little sheath, it's a decent little sheath from Bark River. I mean, they include, you know, workable sheaths. They're not like the best things ever, but they're not the worst either. So this one is the ultralight version take on their Bushcrafter, which is a very popular knife from their model, from their line of knives. But this is the ultralight version, so it's slimmed down a bunch. I'm not sure the exact specs, but it's really nice. It's a perfect size for ultralight backpacking. The blade stock isn't very thick either, so it's good for skinning if you need to, or food prep. This still has a Scandi grind. It's not a true Scandi, but it's Bark River's take. So that's why it has that for woodworking and such, working with it. The handles, all of Bark River handles, they kind of look kind of dumb. Like if you've never held one before, you're like, oh, that looks like a steak knife. It doesn't look very comfortable. They're the most comfortable handles I've ever held. This one is G10 with brass pins, which are a little like dirty. I gotta clean, and yellow liners. This one I was really happy about. It was a limited edition, and I had to buy it. So this is really nice. Beautiful piece. I haven't used this one that much, but it's one of my favorites for sure. It's just a small little knife that you can do that really excels in feather sticking, food prep, and some light, small batoning. You're not going to do as much wood processing with this as you are in another one, but it's really nice when I take this sometimes with me when I want to cut down some weight because I'm going to carry an axe and I don't need the bigger knife, or I bring something like a bigger axe and I want to compensate for the weight. I mean, obviously there's no big difference, but you know, there's some sort of difference here. But this is a very nice knife, and if I were to go ultralight backpacking, which I have done in the past, I would take this one with me. I actually did get this to go backpacking in Philmont, New Mexico, but I didn't use it. I didn't bring it with me. This one has the matching fire steel. You can get them with, some of them have matching fire steels. This one's pretty cool. These two match, but fire steels are kind of a novelty in my opinion. I like the lighter or matches, honestly, but a fire steel, always having the backup fire steel is always nice to have. But that's one. That's the third one. That's one of my favorites out of all of these. Next up is another Bark River. I really like Bark River knives. I got turned on to them probably 2 years ago, and I've been in love ever since. They're a semi-custom knife company, so you can get them semi-custom, which means that like when they do the pre-orders out, they have so many options. It's basically almost semi-custom. Same sheath, but this is much bigger. This is the Bark River Gunny Scandi, but the only thing that's important really is the model, I guess, is the Gunny. So this is a very beautiful knife. This looks like a steak knife. And I need to be careful with all the Bark Rivers because they are super duper sharp. I mean, like crazy sharp. But this one is just been just a companion with me. This is great for when, like I said, I take this. But honestly, this thing is just a little too dainty sometimes. I'm just worried about it. It's small. You get a little extra blade length with the Gunny, and you get more handle mass. So it's pretty, you get a little bit of a difference there. You can see the Coke bottle shape on those handles. Very, very nice. This is canvas micarta, I believe, with red liners. Nothing special on the pins. And this is G10, so you can kind of see the difference. Yeah, both of these are in 3V, which is harder steel, so it's harder to sharpen, but it keeps an edge for longer. But it's not too chippy, like, for example, S90V or something like that. So they do rust. This one's rusted, as you can see right there. It's not a big deal. You could just take it to the, you could just clean that, buff that out, polish that out. But, yeah, this is something you need to maintain. This one's great. I love this one. I love the Scandinavian grind. But I really only like Scandinavian grind for woodworking tasks. Anything away from that, I don't really want the Scandi grind. So it's pretty nice knife. This is probably the best. This is probably one of the favorite woodworking knives that I have. Just a perfect size for splitting some small kindling, and now you can choke up on it. It's so nice. Bring this with like a small forest axe from Grants Forest Brooks, and it's my favorite. This is it, the creme de la creme of all of my knives. Besides my folding knives, my pocket knives, this is my favorite fixed blade. It's my favorite model ever. I've gone through so many. I've gotten rid of so many because of this, and this is it. Benchmade 162 bushcrafter. This thing, move that stupid sheath out of there. This thing is so nice. It's a beautiful thing. First of all, my favorite thing is the look of it. It looks so darn good. It's such a good looking knife, and it really shines with Benchmade's sort of things. And I'm not a Benchmade fanboy. Everyone's like, oh well, you're a Benchmade fanboy, but I'm not a Benchmade fanboy. I enjoy Benchmade from time to time, but that's about it, right? This one actually is not a popular one from Benchmade because a lot of people said it had handle ergonomic issues, which like right here, it like digs into your hand when you hold it. And I can totally agree. Sometimes when I'm doing that, it kind of digs in right here, right into the tendon right here, because of that Coke bottle shape. Isn't perfectly perfected, but this thing's a beast. Titanium tubes. Those are titanium tubes that are pressed on the outside to keep the G10 together. Those are red liners. This whole thing's built with G10. And this thing is S30V, which, this is a great all-around steel. It's not too chippy, honestly. I've beat the heck out of this thing, and it still has a good enough edge, and it had, like, not even a microchip in it. So, that's a little bunch of bogus. But you get anything higher than S30V, you're going to be getting yourself into some nasty situations with splitting wood. But this thing is thick, too. Very thick. I like this one. This is just great. It doesn't have a Scandi grind. It's really just meant for like everything. It's my all-do fixed blade knife. Perfect length. Right, this is it compared to the Gunny. It's almost similar to like a Bravo 1. If you have the Bravo 1, I don't know. This is the Bravo one and this are like the same thing. But yeah, this one just has more belly and a couple inches more length. But that's it. Only thing with this that is disappointing is the sheath is pretty garbage. Any Benchmade sheath is going to be trash. They're just not good at making knife sheaths for fixed blades, which is unfortunate. This one's pretty bad. It honestly doesn't really matter for me because I just throw this in the pack with the sheath on. I don't even carry it on my belt. I don't really carry fixed blades on my belt anymore. I just throw this in the pack. So this, as long as it has a covering, it's fine. I mean, it still sucks. I mean, look at this. This moves, and then you take this out, and it comes here, and you're gonna cut that. Then it puts this like stupid plastic liner in there, which, as you can see, it's removable, but it's pretty annoying. You can see it's a plastic liner. The leather's kind of thin. It's just not good. It's overall just pretty crappy. You can get new sheaths made for it, but pretty annoying. They did just continue this knife too, which is annoying. I'm going to buy a couple more of these before they are fully gone because it's just, I think it's that good of a knife. But yeah, there it is. So these are my top 3 favorite bushcraft / camping knives. And yeah, these are all of them.